The next topic is sex determination. How the sex of individual is decided. There are certain organisms which do not have at the time of birth. In humans, the sex is determined. That means we know that the newborn child is male or female. But in certain snails and other organisms, the sex of the individual or young ones is not decided by the birth. There are certain factors like temperature, etc. all work together to determine the sex of the young ones. We have discussed the idea about how two sexes are participating in sexual reproduction must be somewhat different from each other for a number of reasons. We are born and brought up in different way. That is why there is a certain variation is there in each and every individual. Okay, although we are child of the same parent, but you and your own real brother or sister have many different characteristics. Okay, how is the sex of newborn individual is determined? Different species use very different strategy for this. Some rely entirely on environmental cues. So, in certain organisms, the environment will decide the sex of young ones. Thus, in some animals like few reptiles, the temperature at which fertilized eggs are kept determines whether the animal developing inside the egg will be male or female. This is applicable to reptiles. For example, snails, lizards are part of it. However, in snail, individual can change their sex during their lifespan. They are able to change their sex, indicating the sex is not genetically determined. However, in human beings, the sex of an individual is largely genetically determined. In other words, genes inherited from our parents decide whether we will be boy or girl. But so far, we have assumed that similar gene set are inherited from the both parents, and if that is the case, how genetic inheritance determine the sex? If till the time we are saying that equal number of chromosomes are participating and out of them are chosen, but if all of these are similar, then how the sex of individual is going to be determined? The explanation lies in the fact that all human chromosomes are not paired. That means each and everyone are not paired. Most human chromosomes have maternal and paternal copy, and we have 22 such pair, but one pair, that means 23rd pair, which is called sex chromosomes, is odd in not always being a perfect pair. Women have a perfect pair of sex chromosomes, that is both called X, but men have mismatched pair in which one is normal sized X while other one is short, one called capital Y. So, women are capital XX while men are capital X and Y. Now, can you work out what the inheritance pattern of X and Y will be? Okay, so basically over here the diagram is given to you. This one is male, so having on X as well as Y chromosome. This one is female, which is having only X chromosomes. Next you will see the gametes or a sperm from the male and ova, that is from the female. So, female ova consists only X, while male having X as well as Y. So, what happens if X meets another Y? Then there will be boy child, and if X meets another X, then there would be a girl child. A question which is asked in exercise is something like that. Even it is asked in gala question papers also, that if a family is consider that woman is responsible for the girl child's birth. So the woman is not responsible for birth of girl child. It is a man who is providing either X chromosome or Y chromosome, and male is responsible for the gender of the child. In figure 9.6 shows half the children will be boys and half will be girls. All children will inherit X chromosome, half will be having Y chromosomes. Whether they are boys or girls, they have one X chromosome. Thus, the sex of children will be determined by what they inherited from their father. A child who inherits X chromosome from her father will be a girl. One who inherits Y chromosome from him will be a boy. So this is how sex determination is being done. And another thing that you should always remember, the sex of the newborn child is never decided by a mother. It is always a father who is responsible for the sex of the newborn or individual. Next is evolution. So evolution, we cannot say evolution is a matter of one day. Evolution generally takes a lot of time to get changes in one particular species. We have noted that there is an inbuilt tendency to variation during reproduction, both because of error in DNA copying and as a result of sexual reproduction. Let us now look at some consequences of this tendency. So first one is an illustration. Consider a group of 12 beetles. So over here, so we have less time, so let me just explain it to you. So there is a red color beetle. There is a 12 beetle, and out of them only one is green colored beetle. So what happens? This red colors beetle are easily captured by crows. So what happens? Crow used to eat these all beetles. Beetles એટલે નાની એવી જીવાત છે, લીલા કલરનું પાંદડું હોય, એના ઉપર લાલ કલરની જીવાત ફરતી હોય, તો કાગડો એને ઇઝીલી ગોતી શકે અને એને ખાઈ જાય. બરોબર? એ વેરિએશન કહીએ તો એના કારણે એક બીટલનો કલર ગ્રીન છે. તો હવે ફ્યુચરમાં થશે શું કે જેટલી બી રેડ બીટલ્સ જે છે ક્રોને દેખાઈ જશે એટલે ક્રો એને ખાઈ જશે. ધેરફોર રેડ બીટલ્સ ધીમે ધીમે ઘટતી જશે, વાઇલ ગ્રીન બીટલ્સ દેખાતી નથી તો કાગડો એને ખાઈ નહીં શકે, તો એની પોપ્યુલેશન ઇન્ક્રીઝ થશે. દેટ ઇઝ શોન ઇન નેક્સ્ટ સેગમેન્ટ. સો whether if there is even a single red beetle, then crows are going to eat that particular kind of beetle. So at the end we have all green beetles because crows cannot find them and they will survive. Consider a group of 12 red beetles. They live, let us assume, in some bushes of the green leaves. Their population will grow by sexual reproduction, therefore can generate variation. Let us imagine also that crow eats this beetle. The more beetles the crow eats, the fewer beetles were available for reproduction. Now let us think about some different situations that can develop in this beetle population. The first situation, a color variation arises during reproduction. So there is one beetle has a green color instead of red. This beetle moreover can pass color to its progeny so that all its progeny beetles are green. Crows cannot see green colored beetle on the green leaves of bushes, therefore cannot eat them. What happens? The progeny of green beetles is not eaten, while the progeny of red beetles are continued to be eaten. As a result, there are more and more beetles of green color than the red ones in beetle population. So this is a first example, and I guess that's all for now. Thank you.